There we are.
We're going to take a look at a man named Edward Jenner.
The man is called Edward. Is that with a J?
Yeah, Jenner.
Edward Jenner.
And he was an English physician. He was born in 1749 and would go on to save many, many lives. So shall we practice Edward?
Okay, so his name was Edward Jenner. Let's just see how well your hands are working today. Oh, good. E, D, very good. W, very good. A, R, oh, that was very good. Well done, Edward. Yeah, and just for the sake of it, what was he? He was a, just for the sake of it, he was a, he, ooh, go on, touch the H. It was H, H. Yeah, you're there, you're going down. You did so well first. Y. Use a pencil. S, I, C. Well, maybe you were thinking about how do I spell it. I, A, and then, because I have to think twice. Oh my God, how do you spell things with PHs in and stuff?
Yeah.
So, physician is another word for what? Sorry if you were going to ask this, Jenny. But
Oh, it's okay.
D, go on. D, O, C, T, O, and R. Yeah, physician is another word for a doctor.
That's right. He was the man who created the smallpox vaccine and was one of the most influential scientists of that era. So do you want to choose one to spell? Vaccine or scientists? Might join you.
Oh, you needed that, didn't you? Very good. So let's just spell vaccine just for the sake of it. Go on. Let's spell vaccine. V, A, C, C, I, N, and E. Do you know the name of any other vaccines? Just out of interest. Do you know the name of any other vaccines? Ones that they give to babies? Vaccinations? You know any? D. Go on then, that would be good. I, yes. D, I. That's one. Yeah, you go for the P, I can see. Push for that P then, be there. Dip. D-I-P. D-I-P. Come on then. Let's get a rhythm going. Lift your elbow. T, H, E, R, I, and all the way to the A. Yeah, diphtheria is one. There's lots of them.
Yeah, there is a few, isn't there? I wouldn't have thought of that one though.
No, I thought it was going to be MMR.
Yeah, mate. But when he was young, Edward received a treatment against smallpox. And back in those days, they would have took the disease from someone suffering with smallpox and actually injected it into a very healthy person so they could form some protection. And he wasn't happy about this. Oh, even at a young age. So we have an image of Edward. And if you have a look,
it is.
the background.
It is, look. Yeah.
In the background, you can see some milkmaids. So they'll become very important later on.
See, in the background, he's leaning against a tree, and touch it with your finger. Look, see in the background there, there's a milkmaid and a cow. They used to have special maids called milkmaids that were responsible for milking the cows, basically. So we'll find out the significance. Just hold that thought. We'll find out the significance later.
You will. If you could describe that portrait, you can just use one word. What word would you use?
So look at the picture again. We're just going to use a word to describe the portrait. Anything.
Could even comment on his age, his clothing.
Anything that you want to say about it. R E L A. After the A. A. Keep up. It's all right. It's okay. You were just holding it very loosely, so it was awkward for you. So after the A, where are you going? X. Oh, relax. Yeah, do you know what? I think he looked pretty relaxed. Just finished it off with the E and the D. E and D. Yeah, I think he looks pretty relaxed. Just standing there.
Yeah, relaxing on a tree.
Yeah.
Taking it all in.
True. Yeah.
So like I said, he did not agree with this and he wanted to do something about it. At the age of 14, he was taken on as an apprentice with a local surgeon. And for the next 7 years, he gained really valuable experience. So just for practice, another word for valuable.
Another word for valuable would be the I M E O R T A N, and after the N, T. Yes, in this context, that would be a good alternative word, wouldn't it? He gained valuable experience. Another word for that is important experience. Very good.
Now, in 1770, Jennie went up to London and completed his training. And he was fortunate enough to work under a very esteemed surgeon called John Hunter, who was quite famous for quoting, "Don't think, try." What do you think he meant by the words, the famous quote, "Don't think, try"?
Try.
I like that one. I like that little quote.
What are your thoughts about that? Don't think, try. Choose your finger, okay? Y O U C A N. You can. You can. I think this is going to be good. Or just tell that hand it doesn't need to do that. So when he said don't think, try, you would think he means you can. O B. You're doing so well. E R T H I N and K. You can overthink. You can overthink anymore, or is that it? Come on. You can overthink. T H, I, N. This is good flowing, good. G and S. You can overthink things. I, N. This is good. I like it. I, N, S. I, N, S. But touch the S again. I, N, S. T, E, A, and D. Instead, you can overthink things. Instead, so I think that's just a letter coming through the door. Just heard the post box go.
Okay.
That'll be all right.
Your postman's early. Mine strolls up about 3.
Yeah. You can overthink. I think that we've got to check. All right, wait a minute.
No
Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Don't think, try. And your interpretation of this is you can overthink. I put the things instead. Instead of. J, U, S, and T instead of just. D, O, I. You there? D, O, I. Come on. Looks like you wanted the N. Use the pencil if it's easier. N and G. Instead of just doing. Do you know what? We'll probably just leave it there. Instead of just doing them.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Just doing.
Yeah, sometimes it's very easy to think, oh my gosh, I've got to do this and this and this and this.
And if I do it this way, that could go wrong. And if I do it that way, that could go wrong. And then you end up doing nothing.
Yeah, because you've overthought it and made it into a massive deal, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah. Mind you, I don't know how I'd feel really about being operated on by a surgeon that thought like that. I think I would want my surgeon to be someone who really thought things through before he just dived in and stuff.
Yeah, that is true.
Shopping.
I think in this scenario, it kind of fits though.
Yeah.
Edward Jenner's a trier, as you'll see. So after he completed his training, he went back to his hometown in Berkeley, which is Gloucestershire way, and became a local doctor. And he had a really keen interest in zoology and how the animal diseases would transmit to humans. But let's have a look at that, the part that he went back home. Obviously, he did really love his home, and he stayed there until the end of his end of his days. So I was just wondering, what do you like about living in Birmingham?
What do you like about living in Birmingham? A for L, O, T, H, E, O, V, D, I. All right, D, touch the I again. I, D, I. Come on, push, move your elbow. Going down to the bottom. Is that V? If it is, push it. Sorry, the arm's freezing again, as you can probably see.
Yeah.
Touch the I again. I. Come on, push, push. D. That's it. D-I. If it was the B, go for it again. Come on. Okay, I'm going to help. I'm going to guess. Maybe you're thinking about all the diversity. Let's just do diversity. Do the V. V. And the E. And the R. Have a look. Move your arm. Move your arm. Touch the R. There it is. R. Then the S. S. Then the I. Come on. Push. Push. Push, Chris. I. You're moving slightly. That's good. Then the T. And then the... Yeah, try with that arm. Just touch the Y. Go on, just touch it. Very good. We're just getting your arm moving again, Chris. I know that you're struggling a little bit there. And this sometimes happens, doesn't it, after the after seizures? Sometimes you get a bit of... I was talking to Sama about it, and she says it happens with some of her other students as well. Catatonia or something, where you kind of just freeze a bit. So.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because right at the start of the session, your pointing just seemed really easy and flowing, and then all of a sudden you just didn't seem to initiate that movement at all. Then, yeah. So that was why I just.
Yeah, I thought it was diversity as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's nice, isn't it? We have got a very diverse city.
Mm-hmm.
Nice to find out, you know, how different people have lived and things like that.
Yeah.
Within his research, Edward came upon some milkmaids, who we saw earlier, who claimed they had immunity from smallpox because they had caught cowpox in the past. Now, Edward just had to prove it. So do you think what they were saying was complete bonkers? Or do you think there might be some truth in it? So we can just go for bonkers or truth.
Right, so these milkmaids said that they were immune to smallpox because they'd had something called cowpox in the past. Would you think that was bonkers or could it be true? T for true.
Oh, you know, don't you, Chris? Now, I'll just explain a bit about cowpox and smallpox. Cowpox was a viral skin infection. It was a little bit similar to smallpox, but it was much milder. And smallpox was highly contagious. It was caused high fever, a rash, and it killed about 1/3 of people who were infected. But now it is the only disease that has been completely wiped out. Just for practice, should we try spelling smallpox?
Okay, let's just do smallpox. You can use your finger if you want. S. Go on then. M. A. Oh, that's better again. Go on. L and L. P. O. Very nice. And all the way down for the X. Good. Smallpox.
In 1796, so not long after he came back from his training, he conducted an experiment with a local milkmaid who had cowpox. Now, I hope this doesn't turn your stomach, but he extracted some pus from her hands and inserted it into the arm of an 8-year-old boy. In that era, so 1700, what might someone think if they was to hear this? Would they think, he's mad, he's crazy? They may think, oh, he's a genius, or you may have your own ideas.
So he took, oh, give me your hand, imagine your hand, imagine there was like a big spot on your hand, and you got a needle, and he took the pus out of your hand into a needle, and then here's the needle, injected it, into the arm of an 8-year-old boy back in 1796. What do you think people would think about that? M-A-D. Yeah, they would probably think he was mad.
Yeah, as you shall find out. Now, this unethical approach was risky, but after several days, Jenna exposed the boy to smallpox, and found he was immune. Shall we practice immune?
I am very
Bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, what do you thinking? 5 more minutes? Just a bit more. Yeah. It was I am. Go on. I am. U N and E. Yes, he was immune.
So Edward travelled to London to report his findings to the medical field, but was told he was an idiot. It was unorthodox, it was unethical, but he did leave some samples with a doctor up there. So imagining yourself as Edward, do you think at this point you maybe would have given up? Or would you have had faith in your discovery?
H A D F A I. You're there. T and H. You. Chris thinks that Edward would have had faith.
Oh, see, I think I'd be thinking, oh no, I think I'm an idiot. It's a good job he did have faith.
Mm.
So Edward then went on to experiment on lots more children, and even his own son, who was 11 at the time. This was very successful. He published his findings and he coined the word vaccine, which is taken from the Latin word cow. Now, I know you've been doing some Latin.
Yes.
Yes, he coined the word vaccine, which is kind of, it really fits, doesn't it? Because vaccine is the Latin word for cow. The immunisation came from cowpox.
We haven't got to that yet. We haven't come across the word for cow in Latin. What is the actual word? Is that the actual word, or is it?
It said in the text, taken from the Latin for cow.
I think it would be something like vacus or something like that.
Could be, yeah.
I'll have to have a look. I'll have to Google that later. I'll have to Google that later.
So, in this context, the word coining means inventing. So, we invented the word vaccine from the Latin word for cow. Shall we practice vaccine just because it looks a little bit tricky for you to get to the bottom of the board? Give you a little bit of practice. Vaccine again. I know you've done it already, but.
C A. Good. C. Oh. You were there. Jump to that C again. Oh, you've got your elbow tucked in, haven't you? C. Come on. I. N. And all the way up to the E. Good. Vaccine.
Back in London, the doctor who'd been left with the samples went on to actually use them to inoculate a child, who again proved to be immune. Now, this was the doctor that had called him an idiot. Why do you think the doctor may have used this sample? Could it be in desperation? Maybe he knew someone with smallpox. Do you think it might have been curiosity? Let's see if there's any truth in this discovery.
So who did he inject it into? Who did he use it on?
Child. It just said a child.
Oh, all right. So he did, even though he'd said that it was nonsense, he decided to inject it into a child.
Yeah.
Why would he have done that? Would he have done it in desperation, or would he have done it out of curiosity? What do you think? What do you think? M-A, oh, this is good. M-A-Y-B-E, maybe, good. T-H-E, maybe the, go on, you're there. C-H-I-L-D, maybe the child. Go on. W, yeah. A, go on, keep it going. S, keep it going, was B, go on, you're doing well, go on, you're the E, keep it going, R, go on, keep it going, Chris, after the R, next letter, Y, maybe the child was very S, good, keep it going, I, go on, C, and after the C, K, very nice. Maybe the child was very sick. Okay, you know what? That might be a good reason. If you were a doctor and you had a child that was very sick and that was going to die, then, and you had this option of trying out this little vaccination, even if you didn't think it would work, well, what have I got to lose?
Exactly, yeah.
Child's going to die anyway, so
Yeah.
yes, it might have been out of desperation in that case.
Yeah, I agree. It doesn't actually say why he used it, but yeah, I think it was desperation because if we remember, a third of the population who caught this would have died. So it was very likely that you knew someone with it. And if he knew a child very close to him, I mean, I just would have said, go for it.
Yeah.
Like I said, you've got nothing to lose. Meanwhile, poor Edward had to suffer ridicule because it was such an unorthodox discovery. And in 1802, a cartoon was drawn of people being given vaccine and sprouting cow heads, making a mockery of his ideas. And you've got a picture of it just there. Now, a couple of the students have said this is a lot to look at, so we may be able to just fold a little bit of it. I think this part's quite interesting on the end. There's a lady who's pregnant and it looks like she's given birth to a cow out of her mouth.
Oh my God. Oh, it's
Yeah.
just hard to see, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to look at, isn't there?
Okay, so we'll look at, can you see that bit? Then if you can see, it's like a lady there, give me a finger. And out of her mouth is coming a cow, goodness me.
Oh, yeah.
All of these other bits, we'll just have a look at a couple of things on there. Look, he's got like a cow growing out of his nose.
Yeah, and next to that one, there's a lady with a udder on her face.
Oh, a cow's udder on her face. Goodness me.
It's horrific.
And underneath, it's in very small writing, but I can just about make it out. It says, the cowpox of the wonderful effects of the new invention. Oh, yeah. So they're making a mockery of it, really, aren't they?
Yeah, they're ridiculing him.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Horrible.
Mm.
I think it just shows, like, back then, obviously, they weren't medically advanced as we are and more open to the new ideas. So anything new like this was like, oh, you know, it's ridiculous. How can you solve smallpox with cowpox?
Yeah.
As a result of Edward's miraculous discovery, he was offered lots of new and exciting opportunities. But he was quite happy to practice at home, stay in Berkeley and continue to do research in his spare time. Would you describe Edward, as maybe ahead of his time, you know, had a good insight into things? Or would you describe him as maybe someone who was quite relaxed about it all, but, you know, wanted to see his ideas through? His kind of personality.
How would you describe him then as a person? What do you think? Lift your elbow there. Get your hand in a good position. I-T-H-I-N. Just twist your arm around a bit, that's better. Okay, I think this is good. Keep it going. H, keep it going. Next letter. Go on, after the H. I think he, go on. Very good. W, keep it moving, keep it moving. A, go on, keep it moving, keep it going. Was, I think he was. A, go on, keep it going. After the A, I think he was. A, I think he was a. Now it could be a something, or that could be the word. I think he was a. Oh, G. Go on, move your elbow, go on. E, keep it going. Next letter, N. And come on, you're doing great, go on, back to the N. I, U, S. I think he was a genius.
I agree. Oh, he was very, very intelligent, wasn't he? So last question. He spent the rest of his life doing what he loved, working in his practice, doing his research. But it was only 30 years after his death that the smallpox vaccine became compulsory. It took that long. And without him knowing, he kind of changed the lives of his generation and future generations. Like I said, it's been eradicated from the world, the only disease that's ever been eradicated. So what do you think Edward would say if he could see the impact he had had on the world?
Imagine that he didn't know what impact he was going to.
Yeah. He died not knowing how he changed.
If he was looking down from heaven, what would he be thinking? H-E-W-O. After the O, come on. Doing so well. Next letter after the O. U, L, and D. He would be. Come on, you're doing well. After the B, next letter, keep it going. Try with the pencil again, come on. B, E, he would be. Come on. D, E, after the E, R, after the R, after the R. Come on, you're there. I can see you're there. Come on. Yeah, Y, he would be very. P, oh yes, that's a good one. R, come on. Move your arm, move your elbow. There, oh, very nice. U and D, he would be very proud.
And so he should. He's certainly gone down in history, hasn't he? I wonder what he would make of the mess that we're in now.
Yeah. We'd have to get him researching the vaccination for COVID-19, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done, Chris. You did really well.
Yeah, you did. You did really well. We could see that you were struggling at some points with your pointing, but you did really well.
Yeah, you came back each time.
Paid attention.
Yeah, you gave it your all.
Okay, let me just pause this for a minute.